Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your green card could actually be approved in as little as 6 months without ever stepping foot into an interview room. It sounds unbelievable, like one of those too good to be true stories people whisper about on immigration forums. But today it's becoming closer to reality than ever before. A huge 2025 shift in the adjustment of status process is changing the landscape, and if you're in the United States right now on a qualifying visa, this could completely transform your timeline, your stress level, and even your daily life. Because for the first time in years, thousands of applicants may no longer need an interview at all. And that means the green card process could move at a speed we haven't seen in a long time. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this is happening, how you might qualify, what the risks are, and what you should be doing right now to take advantage of this major shift. Before we dive deep, let me give you the quick version. In 2025, USCIS is doubling down on efficiency changes that are allowing certain adjustment of status applicants to be approved without an interview. That means no waiting for interview dates, no anxiety about officer questions, and no long months trapped in the backlog. But the real shocker is this. When interviews are waived, processing times shrink dramatically, in many cases, dropping to around 6 months from the moment the application is properly filed. That's why this is such a big deal. For many people, this isn't just a convenience. It's a life-changing acceleration. Now let's step into the story. You're applying for your green card from inside the United States. Normally, you'd expect an interview. Everyone does. It's part of the routine. USCIS schedules you months later. You show up with documents, the officer asks questions, and eventually, if all goes well, you walk out hopeful and relieved. But when USCIS waives that interview, you skip the slowest part of the entire process. Your case jumps ahead of thousands of others still waiting for interview availability. And that's exactly what's happening right now for an increasing number of people. Why is this shift happening? It comes down to several factors. First, USCIS has been battling huge backlogs for years, and they've reached a point where they have to fundamentally rethink how they operate. In 2025, they are expanding their use of streamlined processing to handle the overwhelming case volume. That means reviewing cases digitally, reducing manual steps, and waiving interviews for applicants who show no red flags. Second, the agency is under pressure to make immigration more efficient and modern. That doesn't mean they're loosening security. Instead, they're becoming smarter about who actually needs an in-person interview. If your case is clean, well-documented, consistent, and supported by strong evidence, you may not need one. Imagine an immigration system where strong applications are rewarded with faster approval, where you aren't punished for following the rules with unnecessary delays, where your life doesn't have to be paused for years just because the system is overwhelmed. That's the direction USCIS is heading in 2025, and the early results are already showing up in the processing times of applicants who submit complete and error-free cases. So what kinds of applicants are getting their interviews waived? Not everyone, but certain categories are seeing noticeably higher rates. Employment-based applicants, especially those with stable job offers and clean immigration histories, are prime candidates. Family-based applications, particularly marriage-based cases with extremely well-documented evidence, are also increasingly being approved without interviews. Even some asylum-based and humanitarian adjustments are benefiting from streamlined processing when documentation is consistent and credible. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're applying for a marriage-based green card. Traditionally, USCIS would call you in to verify the relationship, ask about your history, your home, your daily routines. But now, if your submitted evidence is overwhelming joint finances, joint lease, photos over time, affidavits, insurance documents, travel records, and more, your case officer may look at everything and decide an interview isn't necessary. That saves them time and saves you stress. More importantly, it saves months of waiting. Or imagine you're an employment-based applicant. Your employer has provided full documentation. Your job offer is clear. Your immigration history is clean, and all your filings are accurate. USCIS can now review your case without dragging it out through multiple steps. That's how approvals are happening much faster, often within half a year. Now let's talk about the 6-month timeline, because this is where things get exciting. When USCIS eliminates the interview stage, they eliminate background scheduling delays, officer availability delays, and office-based bottlenecks. Instead, they move cases directly from biometric screening to final decision. That streamlines the entire process. Many applicants are receiving their work permits first, then their travel permits, and then shockingly quickly their green card approval notices. This isn't happening for everyone, but it's happening enough to signal a major shift in the broader system. But I want to be clear. This doesn't mean everyone qualifies automatically. You can't simply hope an interview gets waived. USCIS must see that the case is strong. Any tiny inconsistency, missing evidence, questionable timeline, or weak documentation can trigger the need for an interview. And once an interview is required, you cannot bypass it. This is why preparing your case carefully matters more than ever before. The cleaner your application, the faster it can move. The more organized your evidence, the easier it is for an officer to review and approve without additional steps. So how can you maximize your chances of benefiting from the 2025 changes? First, make sure your application is flawless. That means checking your forms line by line for accuracy. A single incorrect date or mismatched detail can create red flags. Second, prepare strong supporting documents. If you're applying through marriage, treat your evidence like a complete narrative of your relationship. If you're applying through employment, make sure your employer's documentation is not just correct, but easy to understand and well organized. Third, respond to any USCIS requests quickly. Delays in sending additional evidence can slow down your entire timeline. Another important point is immigration history. USCIS is far more likely to waive the interview for applicants whose history is clean. That means no overstays, no unauthorized employment, no prior denials, and no complicated visa transfers. If you do have complexities in your history, it doesn't mean approval is impossible. It just means an interview may still be required to clarify certain points. Honest, consistent, well-prepared documentation can still lead to success. Let's talk about something applicants rarely think about: clarity. Immigration officers aren't trying to guess your story. They need to understand it instantly from the documents you submit. If your evidence is messy, disorganized, or unclear, you increase the chance of an interview. But if your evidence paints a clear, organized, and credible picture, USCIS may conclude they have everything they need without seeing you in person. And that is the key difference between a 6-month process and a 2-year wait. Now imagine yourself 6 months from today. You open your mailbox, expecting a routine letter, maybe an update about your work permit. Instead, you see the one thing you've been dreaming about for so long: your green card. No interview. No stress. Just approval. This is the reality many applicants are now experiencing. And it may be your reality too, as long as you prepare wisely. This shift may also signal something bigger. USCIS is entering a new era of modernization, one where technology, digital processing, and streamlined workflows replace outdated manual systems. That means these faster timelines could become more common, not just a temporary improvement. We're moving toward a system where long waits become shorter and where deserving applicants get answers sooner. It's a welcome change, and one that brings hope to millions. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this. If you've been waiting for the right moment to apply for adjustment of status, 2025 may be the opportunity you've been hoping for. If your case is strong, if your documentation is solid, and if you take the time to prepare properly, you could be among the growing number of applicants approved in as little as 6 months without an interview. The rules haven't changed dramatically, but the approach has. And right now, that approach is working in your favor. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for more updates, because immigration is changing fast, and you don't want to miss opportunities like this. Drop a comment if you have questions. Share your own timeline, or tell us if you've recently had your interview waived. We'd love to hear your story. Thank you for watching, and no matter where you are in your journey, remember this: your green card is closer than you think. Stay hopeful, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video.